Let's go down to Melbourne now and catch up with the Institute of Public Affairs, Bella de Brera, who we've spoken to before about freedom of speech in universities. Thanks for speaking to us again, Bella. There's this new code of conduct to nurture freedom of speech in universities. You'd think any university worth its salt would sign up, but what, only 9 of 42 have actually agreed with this code?
Yes, you'd think that they would sign up, but it turns out that our universities are not hotbeds of free speech. They're actually hotbeds of curtailment of free speech. Look, Chris, it's an excellent thing that the federal government is actually taking action to preserve and to promote free speech and academic inquiry on campus. And I think Minister Tien recognises that there actually is a free speech crisis, and he's actually doing something about it. But to illustrate, what the problem is, last year the IPA ran a survey, and we found out that 41% of students fear saying anything in class because of retribution from their teacher. 31% of students are scared to say anything on campus, and 59% of students are scared to say anything around their fellow students that might be conveyed as the wrong thing to say. So there's clearly a free speech crisis on campus, and our own universities owe it to the taxpayers to actually to endorse this free speech. Sorry, I've lost my. Yeah, to endorse the code.
The code, yeah, the code to protect free speech. Now, those numbers you cite are very worrying, and it goes to that cancel culture and that stultifying effect of political correctness, really, that people are afraid to speak out. The universities must be aware of that. Why are they resistant to signing up to the code, do you think? What is there for them to lose?
Look, they are aware of it, but I think they are actually denying that there is a problem, which is, again, very difficult to believe, given that this year we've seen Peter Ridd battling it out with a JCU in court. We've seen Dan Pavlou, who's been taken to court by his own university, UQ, for commenting about its relationship with China. And we've seen recently the University of New South Wales basically deleting a social media post by one of its own academics when she mentioned that perhaps we need to look at China's legacy on human rights. So there's clearly a problem with universities, and what they're doing is that they're hiding their head in the sand. And it wouldn't be surprising that if they continue to oppress diversity of opinion, that the government start talking about removing funding.
Well, let's hope they keep the pressure on them, because the universities ought to embrace this. They ought to realise it's a problem. They're supposed to be all about the contest of ideas and inquiry. And what really disturbs me, I know you and I have spoken about this on air before, but you've had a situation over recent years where so many universities have struck up deals with China and implemented Confucius Institutes and the like. As you mentioned, there's been concern about I suppose, the interference of China in our universities, yet these same universities refuse to even contemplate, rejected the idea of a centre for Western civilisation.
Yes, they have. Look, and this hypocrisy has been exposed over the last 3 or 4 years, blatantly for everyone to see. And, the problem with these institutions is that they're public institutions. We pay billions of dollars per year to keep them open, to keep a supposedly public space, to create a public space for free inquiry. And the least they could do is do their job and give us a place, give students a place where they can exchange ideas and get a decent degree, not based on some kind of orthodoxy, but a genuine exploration of ideas and knowledge.
This is the heart of the problem, though, isn't it, Bella? This is almost the most important issue in the whole country, because you talk about sort of political correctness and groupthink in the media, perhaps among the teaching profession at times, in the bureaucracy, in politics. It all comes from our universities. They should be the key institutions for breaking that up, for making sure there's a plurality of views. Instead, they seem to be the ones where the places where freedom of speech is most at risk.
They are, and it goes to the heart of this cancel culture, which is infesting, is an epidemic. It's a real epidemic. This cancel culture that is infesting Western civilization and Western culture. It's things that you can't say, things that you can't draw, things that you can't even think. And this is all coming from our universities. And as you say, it's the opposite. They should be celebrating this diversity of ideas, and they're not. Which is why I go back to Minister Tien, and I commend him for actually trying to solve this problem and doing something about it.
Bella, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you very much.
Bella de Brera there from the Institute of Public Affairs. It's a real worry. We've got to stay on their case. These universities have to be places where ideas can be contested.